So a little bit of history behind Vampire the Masquerade and why this game is so important to me. This game is one of my favorite RPGs of series. It's based off a tabletop game, Vampire the Masquerade, and it's centered around vampires. It's very Dungeons and Dragons esque. Now I have no idea what this game is about. I don't know the plot line. I don't know the gameplay. I know next to nothing besides the little bit of research I've done, and I've kind of intentionally kept it that way. But yeah, Vampire the Masquerade is one of my favorite games. Oh, we get to pick. Oh, we only get to pick these three? We don't get to pick if, I love Malkavian. Malkavian is my favorite, so we could be, Toreador, Adventurer, or Bruja. They all look very neat, but we're gonna pick the lady. Or maybe, I don't know, Toreador is kind of fun. Art, romance, cruelty, and stagnant undeath. Top-level corporate executive will join their ranks tonight. Or the rabble rebel, against power and rage against authority. Rebel against power and rage against authority. Sabat is better. Oh, okay. A seemingly insignificant man with significant ideas will join the ranks tonight. This is our clan. I want to be the chick, because the chick looks really cool, but I do love Toreador. The girl, obviously? Okay. Alright, let's view the results. Let's see. Alright, it looks like we've got 2 votes for Venture, 1 for Toreador, and nobody likes Bruja. So, with that, we will go ahead and play the lady. Alright, I'm on mobile and I can't see a poll? Okay. No worries, looks like Venture won. Alright, our name. We'll name ourselves Flexiss. Oh, I see you, Swagmite. Welcome to the stream. So our vampire name is Flexiss, very fitting. Alright. New York taught me to believe in fate. Had you asked me about fate back when I was human, I would have told you it's just superstitious bullshit. That we are all designers of our own destinies. That belief shattered when the richest woman in the United States, the actual richest one, not a face you could have seen in the papers, of course, sank her teeth deep into my neck. It happened in the very same place you're standing in right now, by the way. Fate, you decide. ... Alright, please. There's absolutely no need to be hostile. Just listen for a little longer. You see, my mistake was, I flew too close to the sun. It makes sense that my punishment was to never see its glow again. I was incandescent myself. I was hot shit. I had it all. Money, looks, confidence, connections, men, women, a career, and a spark in the eye. The one you need to be born with. And that's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light erupting from within me and gave me a subtle, enduring gleam in its place. She decided it would fit me much better. She was the ninth generation kindred, just like you, an apex predator. She probably enjoyed showing me a peek of human excellence, my real place in the food chain. It's such an eyesore when you look at some loudmouth braggart, I think that's braggart, and see them for all they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my sire's lesson was a lesson about fate, a message saying, you are eternally doomed to being at the mercy of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. What saved me was the ability to reinterpret her teachings. Hers wasn't a message of doom. It was a message of hope. Fate exists, and one can shape it if given the right tools. My sire didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. She considered them toys, and me, just her amusing subject. Well, she's deader than dead now, and I'm still here, standing right where she stood when we first met. ... You might have wondered how I've learned about your arrival to JFK Airport. My answer is, of course, destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day some of my associates were inspecting the coffins. Driving you here straight from the plane and having you wake up in such an unfamiliar place was a little desperate, and I do apologize for it. But it is so rare for you to visit New York. 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? And you're never eager to inform me you're here. I understand you still have the meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so I'll provide a comfortable transport. I value our relationship very much. Don't get me wrong. Or don't get that wrong. Alright. But it is precisely because I value it that I'm going to ask you to repay the favor you owe me. You're the only one I trust to do the job well, and without attracting attention. You might think I'm crazy asking you to breach the rules of our society like this. You might think you won't get away with it unpunished. But this is New York, and I don't know about other cities, but in this one, fate really exists. And right now, it's smiling in your favor. This is how it begins. Ooh, I love the soundtrack. Your phone rings. It's your boss. Again. I'm sure we've all been there. The setting sun that filled your high-rise office an hour ago is gone. The city looks like an ocean of light from up here, spreading for miles to the north. Man, I wish my office looked this nice. Shit. You pick up. You were about to call it a day. Forget about the world of fintech and decompress at home. No dice. One of the investors wants to meet you. His voice, as always, the perfect mix of authority and sleaze. He'll come by your office in an hour. Now I have to change my tone to match his voice. You look at the clock. An hour? He's gotta be kidding me. Yeah, I know, but stick around. He's a heavyweight. You'll want to make a good impression. Fine. You grate your teeth a little. The boss hangs up. 2 hours? Might as well pour another coffee into yourself and figure out how to best use this to your advantage. You suspect everyone knows that no, you're actually not happy with your current position. That, in fact, you feel squished against a glass ceiling that's come with the territory. Sure, your idiot superior might have gotten the job only because he's the CEO's golfing buddy, but you're going to put an unholy amount of work into your advancement. Times where you'd laugh off the idea of staying at the office until 9 p.m. You had a partner to go home to, the nightly Netflix and chill ritual to perform, complete with pizza or Chinese takeout, which sounds like my kind of night. Ever since you moved up the ladder, though, your hours have only gotten longer. Food, mostly at the company cafeteria, sometimes takeout, always in a rush. I wonder if they have, Uber Eats in this society. You praise the heavens for your crazy metabolism and dread the day it finally decides to give up. Rest, at this point, the cleaning lady who takes care of your apartment probably spends more time in your bedroom than you do. You flash back to your boss quoting Shakespeare to impress his new, extremely attractive secretary. Oh, extremely attractive and uncomfortably young secretary. For some must watch while some must sleep. Oh, for some must watch while some must sleep, so runs the world away. Drinks, mostly with colleagues, and they're all pretty much hate you at this point. Another flashback, this time to the most profitable quarter in the company's history. Still, the board decided that layoffs were in order. Your boss didn't feel like letting people know in person, so he passed that privilege on to you. Gotta hand it to him, he always knew how to pick his battles. Maybe, just maybe, tonight is the night it's all going to change. You decide to play the good looks angle. Nothing too slutty. You leave your blouse slightly unbuttoned. Check if your ass looks as good as you remembered in your pencil skirt. Mirror says yes. It's not something you're proud of, but you become too jaded to care. That's fair. Knowing your luck, the investor is going to be one of two types. A self-obsessed Musk wannabe in his 20s, or a fat old pervert drenched in cologne. Alright, you hear the elevator ding. Time to get the show on the road. You take one final look in the mirror and fix your hair as the footsteps echo across the empty hallway. The man who approaches your office is not what you expected. He's slick, to be sure, but he seems a bit more refined than your usual company man. Expensive suit, matching tie, and shirt, confident in his stride. Surprisingly good looking. Really? This guy is good looking? Seriously? That's what you're giving me? Okay. I mean he looks alright, I guess. I don't know, he looks kinda old, but whatever. Alright. Good evening. I hope this unforeseen visit isn't too much of an inconvenience. God, that voice. You're taken aback by how smooth and strong it is, and his eyes steel blue. Cold, intense. Pompadour princess, he's gonna murder you. You're right. Nobody that attractive, just randomly coming in at night, has good intentions, let's be honest here. At Tekken, in the main screen, Flexiss, and the other screen, the Capcom Cup. Ooh, good choices. Nice eyes. It's like so alive? Question mark. He's all business, professional, treats you in a manner that's appropriate to your stature. When he speaks, he actually looks you in the eye and not at your cleavage. He asks some questions about your work, tells you how he's noticed your input after talking to the CEO, another golfing buddy, and comes charmingly close to calling your boss an incompetent doofus. All the while, you try to guess his accent, but can't quite place it. European? Sure. But where from? I bet you it's Transylvania. That's where all the vampires are. I bet you it's gonna be like Transylvania. They'll be like, oh, are you a vampire? Like, come on. Can you place it on the nose? I know I've kept you long enough, but would you indulge me and join me for a drink? I mean, this guy apparently is like tall, handsome, doesn't look at her boobs, so I feel like it'd be an insult to say no. Of course, for a minute there it seemed like he wasn't that kind of guy. Well, what the hell, you go with it. He seems nice enough. Besides, it's not like you have other plans. See, I don't even have to say yes, we already know. The investor has a limo, of course he has a limo, waiting downstairs, and the driver takes you to a high-end restaurant in Williamsburg. A seat is waiting for you in the deluxe lounge. It's just the two of you. This seems a little too planned out, by the way. Like, this investor guy has some ulterior motives. You talk about this and that. Your companions seem to have a knack for history. So tell me, what would you do if you had full control of the company? You almost choke on your wine. This is your chance. You say what's been on your mind for months, but hide it behind a veneer of professional corpo babble. Refocusing, listening to your instincts for once, restructuring, kicking out your boss, or aggressively pursuing new markets, getting the hell away from all these horrible people. Definitely refocusing. He likes the sound of that. He leans forward, his eyes flash with intensity, and something else. A strange emotion that wasn't there before. You'll do just fine. His words echo inside your head as you black out. You wake up, God only knows how much later. Oh, this dude roofied me? As you try to piece together what happened, you hear a familiar voice. The investor, or whoever the hell he is, talking to someone. You suddenly recall snippets, fragmented memories. His sapphire eyes. I thought his eyes were like... Were his eyes sapphire? His sapphire eyes intently locked with yours, his teeth suddenly longer and sharper. It's something else. A feeling on your neck that takes you back to your last orgasm. A company trip to Florida, a sweaty room, the cutie from HR who doesn't work there anymore, and then darkness. Yes, I'm done here. Consider my debt paid. Yeah, this is a little... Twitch, don't ban me. The investor pushes the other figure aside and walks away from the lounge, barely bothering to look at you. The door locks behind him. Some time passes before you find the strength to get up from the couch. You touch your lips. Blood? Did that asshole hit you? You try to stand up, but your head is pounding and your stomach is like a heavy knot, pulling you down. You didn't have that much to drink. He must have spiked your wine. This is bad. Yeah, I agree. It's a little bit fast. Like, he didn't even buy me dinner. He barely bought me a drink. Like, my dude. We didn't get to the Netflix. We didn't buy dinner. You just straight up were like, vampire time. You frantically check your clothes. Pristine. Doesn't make any sense. All of a sudden, a feeling hits you, unlike anything else you've ever felt before. You fall to the floor, writhing in an all-encompassing pain and hunger. The kind that makes your insides burn, that cannot be denied. You try to calm yourself down with a breathing exercise they taught you at some bullshit mindfulness course. That's when it hits you. You're not breathing. And holy shit, should your heart be jumping out of your chest with the realization? But it's not moving. Not even a beat. The door unlocks. You hear a startled voice. A young man in a waiter's outfit, his accent thick with an Eastern European harshness, leans over you and asks if you're alright. For a brief moment, you wonder what the hell he's doing here. Everything is wrong. Then his smell reaches your nostrils. It's intoxicating. Everything feels right again. He holds out his arm to help you stand up. See, you got myrtled. I did get a little myrtled. I got myrtled and then I'm brought back to life, so I'm like dead, but not quite. You grab it, firmly, with both hands, and then you bite down. You sink your teeth right next to the old school pin-up tattoo of Rita Hayworth on his forearm. It takes you a moment to process what you're doing. A part of you wants to break away, but a stronger voice implores you to keep drinking. One thing becomes clear. You're definitely enjoying this. He only struggles a little and quickly falls to his knees. You can see his eyes now, pale blue and confused. You only bring yourself to let him go once he collapses onto the floor. We vampire now! Oh no, we ruined his nice tattoo! Your bite leaves a mess of his forearm. Poor Rita, all bloodied, missing half her face. Did you just drink this guy's blood? Like, we didn't even think about the fact, like, what if this guy's got, like, herpes or AIDS or some other, like, what if this guy's got some kind of bloodborne pathogen? We didn't even think about it. We didn't ask him, like, you know, when's the last time you got tested for STDs? Like, we just went in on that. Like, look at this poor dude. Oh, alright. You spit out a piece of torn flesh. Oh my god, I like ate his flesh. I didn't just drink his blood. That's a... Why? Where? What was in that fucking wine? Barely able to focus, your heart and your lungs still motionless. You reach for your phone and dial 911. 911, operator. What's your emergency? Oh, we're not gonna pick this one. Dang, we hot. I can't breathe. Ma'am, where are you right now? The door to the lounge swings open. The man who enters is not the one that brought you here, though there are similarities. He's tall, for one, broad-shouldered, handsome, dressed in an immaculate suit, but his skin is darker, and the look on his face tells you he is not here to negotiate a deal. He notices a smartphone in your hand. Ooh, he looks fancy. That looks like a proper vampire. I'm bored to life and I'm O negative, so if someone needs a drink... Pass me the phone if you want to live. Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Should we could give this guy the Arnold voice? Pass me the phone if you want to live. The man's voice is persuasive, calm, but carrying clear threat. Oh no. He's got the aura of a viciously efficient corporate shark. You find it hard to argue with him. Ma'am? Hello? I apologize for wasting your time. My new colleague got drunk and is now trying to impress everyone with her antics. Good night. He disconnects the call and places your phone in his pocket. For whatever reason, you can barely take your eyes off the stranger. As hypnotizing as his presence is, though, it is also highly discomforting. Good evening, miss. I'm here to pick you up. I'm your guide through this perilous night. The stranger approaches the waiter and examines his body. Critical condition, but he might live. Anyway, he then sets his sights on you. I know this is all new to you, but I've dealt with hundreds of strays like you. And going by experience, they tend to fall into two categories. First, there are the smart ones, who carefully obey my every word, and don't try to pull off anything stupid. I always get them where they need to be, safe and sound. And then there are the dumb ones. The punks who thought they could take me on, the wise guys who tried to contact somebody, secretly and without permission, the troublemakers who tried to run off or make a scene. None of them got to their destination in one piece. In fact, most of them never reached their destination at all. His voice becomes slightly bored and monotone. You can tell he's given this speech before, like dozens of times. So you see, while I generally consider myself pretty smart, I'm also a Mets fan. It's my one true weakness. One that inspired me to come up with a 3-strike system when dealing with pups like you. Oh, thank you for the 10 bits, Wilbo! Welcome to the stream. Good to have you in here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 10 bits holiday cheer. Let's see, where were we? One that inspired me to come up with a 3-strike system when dealing with pups like you. Are we visual novel gamers now? We are. If you get on my nerves once or twice, well, I understand. Not all of us perform well in stressful situations. But cross me 3 times and you're out. No excuses, no forgiveness, no mercy. As he's talking, he slowly approaches you, adding a bit of theatrical swagger to his walk. Eventually, he leans in, deliberately invading your personal space. This guy's just like attempting to intimidate us. So this guy's invading our personal space right now. I want to play Bloodlines 2 when it comes out. Me too. I'm probably going to do a playthrough of the first Bloodlines on stream again for you guys. And then I'll do Bloodlines 2 when it comes out. You realize it's a test. He's daring you to do something about it. 3 strikes and you're out. Say, I understand, sir. Now. Every atom of your being screams for you to obey his authority. Fuck you, sir. I understand, sir. What are you even talking about? I mean, we could say fuck you, but I feel like this might not be the best idea. We'll go with this. Is there anyone you'd want to inform of your current situation? Tell them that you are alright. He flashes his fangs briefly. For some reason, the sight sends a chill down your spine. There is something very wrong about him. Someone closest to you? Fuck our boss. Our boss is a fucking piece of shit. There's no one. The stranger squints at you. No family, no lover, no friends, nothing. Wow, we live a sorry life. No, like, this is the most exciting thing that's probably happened in our lives in a long time. You know, all else considering, the fact that we don't have friends, we don't have a lover, family, a job. That's what I have. I have a job. I'm married to my job. Your blank stare tells him the whole story. He immediately stops crying and gives you something even worse than a look of pity. A look of honest compassion. Oh no. Well, that makes things simpler. But let me be crystal clear, just in case. From this point on, you are subject to different laws than the ones you grew up under, and you'll be watched by many eyes to ensure that these laws are respected. You are forbidden from letting anyone know you're still alive. You're forbidden from showing your face anywhere they know you. If anyone comes looking for you, it's over for both you and them. That practice tone again. You put on your poker face and listen in silence. So unless you want your boss to end up at the bottom of Hudson, I'd suggest you cooperate. Don't tempt me. He smiles, revealing his fangs again. There's something absolutely sickening about it. Suddenly, you feel overwhelmed by a sense of exhaustion. You pass out, just right then and there. I just down on the ground, out for the count. When you regain your senses, you find yourself in the stranger's arms. The man is holding you as you would a spouse who had a little too much to drink. You try to break free, but he holds you close and gives you a cautioning look. Only when you cease your struggling does he let you go. Only now do you notice the change in scenery. You find yourself in the fancy lobby, right next to the elevator. The place is virtually empty, save for a single concierge and some cleaning staff. Your companion gestures at the concierge as you pass, and he picks up the phone. The elevator arrives, the door opens, and the man motions towards the cabin. After you. To a safe place. That is all you need. I realize I didn't read hers. She asked where we're going. But to a safe place. That is all you need to know. Trust me, you don't want to make this difficult. Just get in. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna step inside the elevator. Going against your instincts, you enter the cabin. Smooth jazz is playing over the speakers as the elevator starts its descent. You are dazed, panicky, but somehow locked in place. On the one hand, you find the stranger's presence oddly soothing. On the other, you can feel your body tensing up with stress. You can't help but think back to the young waiter. The doe-eyed look on his face, the confused look he gave you just before. No, it's better not to think about it. Plus, you have other things to worry about, like the fact that you're being kidnapped. The cabin door opens, the same garage you arrived at, with the investor some hours ago. The man shows you a black Cadillac Escalade. I know what you're thinking. Getting into a car with some strange man? Boy, sure seems like a dumb idea. Maybe I can make a run for it. I might be able to lose him. So let me be perfectly clear. Your best bet is to get in, relax, and enjoy the ride. Do you think that waiter upstairs, is he going to be alright? Yes. You look him in the eyes and can immediately tell he's lying. No more questions. Get in the car, please. Make a run for it or get in the car. We're gonna get in the car. We're gonna behave this run through, and then maybe our next run through will be absolutely atrocious. Though I have a feeling we'll die. It seems like this keeps telling me this is a bad idea, but I keep like going with it anyway. So now I'm starting to think maybe I should have made a run for it. It seems like the worst idea ever, but the man's made it very clear that you have no choice in the matter. Can I at least know your name? You'll know it when the time is right. He takes a glance at his expensive-looking watch. Listen, You really need to quit stalling. We're on a bit of a schedule here. The sun comes up in about 2 hours, and I don't intend to be here when it does. What does it matter when the sun comes up? Ah, you really don't know, do you? Good thing I got here when I did. He opens the car door and gestures towards it. You see no point in delaying the inevitable, so you get in. The door locks behind you. The Cadillac is almost entirely dark. The side seat windows seem light-proof. The man gets into the driver's seat, starts the engine, and drives away without another word. Did I die? Depends on your definition of death. Listen, I realize you have many questions. Tomorrow, you'll get some answers, but tonight, you need to do what I say. And right now, I need some quiet, please. You feel too confused to protest. You stay silent for the rest of the ride, even as more questions bubble up on the surface. Excuse me. One of them being, did you actually kill someone tonight? Staring out the window, you find it hard to focus and quickly lose track of where you're headed. You can only tell that you haven't left Manhattan. Another underground parking, almost featureless, empty. The car stops, and the man opens the door for you. We're here. The stranger walks you to a nearby door. He opens it and motions at you to get in. Go on in. Make yourself comfortable. If you get hungry again, take a look in the fridge. I'll pick you up tomorrow, and you'll get your answers. Behind the door is a small room. No windows. Excuse me. Anyway, no windows, just a simple bed and a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. A small fridge is humming away in the corner, accompanied by a rattling AC fan in the wall. You're leaving me here? That's it? You're just gonna leave me here? That's it. For now, at least. Look, this room is your best chance of seeing another night. I realize you've been put in a problematic situation, and it's not entirely your fault. Cooperate, and you might still make it. You will learn more tomorrow, but for the time being, get in and get cozy. He gestures inside the room. Alright, we're gonna step into the room. You step inside, the stranger nods. Good night. He locks the door behind you. It looks very sturdy. You open the fridge. There's a single plastic bag there, filled with red liquid, no label. Oh no, no, it's not tomato soup! Tomato soup? You feel sick to your stomach. Best to leave it for now. You lie down on the bed. It's a simple mattress on a metal frame. At least it's not too filthy. You think back to how this evening began. This investor, is he friends with the dark-skinned stranger who picked you up from the restaurant? What happens now? Unable to relax, you spend an hour or so playing out various scenarios in your head. Eventually, you decide to give in and let exhaustion take over. Whatever tomorrow brings, you'd rather face it well rested. Plus, there's no way in hell your boss isn't going to notice your absence tomorrow. That, and maybe some of the restaurant staff, will feel a pang of conscience. Someone will notify the police. Someone will find you. Right? You flash back to the waiter's tattoo, the bloody Rita Hayworth winking at you over a pale mess of a wound. You did this. You bit him, drank his blood, and it tasted good. What if you can never go home again? You're so tired. Your entire body tenses up one last time, and before you know it, you drift away into oblivion. You wake up. That in itself is a surprise. You barely remember when you drifted off. It didn't feel like sleep, more like plummeting into an endless void. You imagine that's how death feels like. The room is unchanged. Lamp is still on, AC is still rattling, refrigerator is still humming. You take a look at your watch. It's almost 9 p.m. You've slept for 17 hours straight, which, to be fair, I've done that once or twice. Maybe you died, your breath is gone, and you feel no thumping in your chest. Does that qualify as dead if you're still conscious? You're not sure about that, but you are certain about one thing. You are hungry, and it's not your stomach rumbling, though. It's a need that starts somewhere in the back of your abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, and back of the head. You open the fridge. The bag is still there. You take a closer look at it. If it's soup, then its color and texture are off. You pull the cork out, take a whiff. You recognize the smell immediately. Holy shit. There's no mistaking it. It's bagged blood. The smell is faint, and you remember some situations in the past where you found it nauseating, but now it's almost... no, not almost. It's enticing. It is enticing. Drink the blood! It feels wrong, but right now, that's barely anything in your life that does it. To hell with it. You pour a bit of the liquid into your mouth. It tastes like shit. Hey, welcome CFG Games. Welcome to the stream. We're playing some Vampire the Masquerade. Coteries of New York. It's coppery, thick, and clings to your tongue and the insides of your mouth like a film of dirt. You swallow hard regardless. The taste is foul, but somehow you kind of want more of it. As you take a second sip, sucking the blood out of the bag, you feel something pull on your insides. You double over. You're going to barf. You instinctively cover your mouth, looking for a place to vomit. But before you find it, a dark red wave washes over your hands and fingers. It hits the floor, spattering in huge, thick drops. You keep heaving for a moment longer. Nothing is coming out. Not blood, not bile, not even spit. But still, something in your body wants to push it out. Push it all out. Every last drop. As you recover, trying to wipe droplets of regurgitated blood from your dress, you hear the lock click and see the door open. Standing there is the well-dressed stranger you met yesterday. Man, this handsome dude is walking in on us after we just puked all over ourselves. Immaculate suit again. That predatory look, like a hawk on a hunt. But somehow more relaxed tonight. So, like a tamed hawk, maybe. Good evening. How was... He notices the spatter, your red hand, the sick look on your face. He barely contains a smirk. Oh. Was the catering unable to satisfy your exquisite taste? Apologies. Offer him a drink. Was that really blood? Or that was foul? I want to be friends with this guy because this guy seems kind of cool and he seems like he's going to help us out. But, let's offer him a drink. You can't tell me you can drink this. He takes the bag off your hands and pours all of its contents into his mouth. He closes his eyes, theatrically savoring the taste. When he opens them a few seconds later, he looks sharper, energized. Not all of us are picky eaters. Come on, we've got places to be. I should have some water and a towel in the back of the car so you can clean yourself up. The car is humming in the empty parking lot, just outside the door of the cramped room you have spent the day in. The man motions to it, politely, but with a stern look on his face. Rush the stranger. Hijack the car! Oh no. We'll behave on this playthrough, but the next playthrough, we're definitely gonna cause a ruckus. It's not like I have a choice, right? Correct. But your cooperation is appreciated nevertheless. You take the back seat again. The doors lock. The stranger takes the wheel and starts the car. You drive in silence for a while. From time to time, you keep trying to catch glimpses of familiar streets or landmarks through the blackened windows, but it's of little use. The car is also soundproofed, so all you can hear is a bit of traffic humming and the car's engine. The car driver, of course, it's the driver of the car. The driver doesn't say anything. It seems focused on the road. You check the door handle. Yeah, the door's locked, alright. The piece of dark glass separating you and the front of the car looks sturdy, too. There's nothing left to do but wait. You didn't have time to think about it before, but you realize now that you're hungry? No, not exactly. It's not a rumbling stomach that grabs your attention. It's a need that starts somewhere in the abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, and back of the head. You become restless. This is essentially a kidnapping. Whatever this guy says about its purpose, it doesn't change the fact that you're being held against your will. And you're not used to following orders when you can't delegate them to somebody else. You feel a need to get a semblance of control over the situation. So, you decide to prove yourself useful. I have a worthwhile skill set. Listen, I'm an investment advisor, and I have a lot of experience in fintech. Whatever your organization is, it might find use for me. Stranger says, I don't even have any idea what fintech is, and honestly, I don't care to find out. A short pause. I'll be frank. Currently, you're in no position to offer anybody anything. The sooner you accept that, the better. Ridicule his lack of ambition. Curse him out, or call him a nobody. I feel like none of these options are very good. Like, this chick is feisty. We gotta give her that much. This chick is definitely feisty. The only thing I can think to do is ridicule his lack of ambition? That seems like the least worst one out of all these. Maybe the least, like, insulting? Big words from somebody's dedicated errand boy. I wonder if you've ever achieved anything. Ooh! Wow, mean! You push the right buttons. He gives you an absolutely furious stare through the rearview mirror. For a second, you spot a crack in his professional demeanor. Look at this guy's, like, glare. He's not even paying attention to the road. For all we know, we could be, like, running into the side of a building. You don't know anything about me. You have no idea where I'm coming from or where I'm headed. For a few seconds, he quietly fumes. Your attitude won't help you make any friends, and in your current position, you definitely need some. Consider that, preferably in silence. That dull hunger strikes you again. The powerlessness hurts. You're used to people listening to you, or pretending to care about your demands at least. The driver doesn't play that game, and it annoys you to no end. It takes you another 20 or so minutes to get to your destination. As the door opens, you try to get your bearings. You're still in New York. That much is certain. Queens, maybe? Swagma. I thought vampires don't have reflection. Maybe it's a special vampire mirror. I don't know why. I wonder where the lore comes from that vampires don't have a reflection. Like, what's the history behind that? After me. No sudden movements, please. At least he's polite. He says, like, please and thank you and stuff like that. You approach a nice-looking building that houses a 2-story gallery called the Art Hole. 2 large men in suits flank the door on both sides, and they give your companion a nod as you approach. Prompted by the stranger guiding you, you walk inside. The gallery is full, which is unusual at this hour, to say the least. About 24 faces fill the showroom, and a number of waiters navigate the gathering, serving drinks. All of them are beneath the guests' attention. The visitors are well dressed, for the most part, but it's unclear what they have gathered here for. Nobody seems to be particularly interested in the art pieces on the walls, and the atmosphere is polite, unnaturally so. Many guests turn to look at you, and the stranger who brought you here, their glances are varied. You see open contempt on a few faces, and animated interest on others. Most of the eyes in the room calmly observe you, as if wishing to appraise your worth. This reminds you of your company meetings. You, the only woman in the room, silently judge not on her merits, but her standing on the list. Past and clandestine emails, threads between your male coworkers. Until HR found out, that is. Not the most pleasant experience, but there's no denying it taught you resilience. When others would cower, you now straighten up. When others would turn their gaze, you met the eyes of the gallery's guests with confidence. Oh, look at this lady. She's fancy. Her name's literally just the woman. Good evening, Kadir. And to you, child? The noble, cold voice takes you out of your head and back to the situation at hand. The gallery. A crowd of strangers. You, being brought here against your will. For what purpose? The room awaits your response. Good evening, miss. You're addressing the Prince of New York City, Helene Panhard, child of Michaela. Thank you, my sheriff. I am capable of introducing myself. She's somewhat plain-looking and doesn't seem to possess a great deal of charm. But still, the entire room is intently focused on her voice. She has influence over these people. That much is clear. You may address me as Prince, child. I realize your introduction into unlife was abrupt, and I understand your sire left shortly after. The rules of our society dictate I punish you both for this transgression. A murmur of agreement, maybe, can be heard from the gathered audience. But I am willing to listen to what our loyal sheriff has to say about the circumstances of your embrace first. Embrace, is that a euphemism? Remain silent, I don't understand. You decide it's best to stay silent and listen to the whole situation in full. It feels like you're out of your depth here. Shall we begin? You're about to be judged by a court of New York City. Kadir, please tell us how you found this fledgling, and what happened on your way here. Court? Prince? Is this some kind of secret society make-believe? A trusted informant, who has chosen to remain anonymous at this time, tipped me off about a suspicious kindred appearing in one of our domains. Upon investigating, I found them gone, but this fledgling remained in their place. A reservation made in the private lounge of the patrician suggests this one's sire had plenty of resources to spend. However, they are apparently also well connected. I lost track of them. Despite some reservations, she offered little resistance to last night and cooperated on our way to the safe house. I was pleased to not have to force her